My spiritual journey is such a colorful roller coaster ride. I was a Roman Catholic. I was somehow immersed to the lifestyle of born-again Christianity. I thought I was an atheist, decided to be an agnostic, gravitated back to born-again Christianity. Now, I just simply unsubscribed to all of these religions. Recently, it's a meme in the online world on how we collect ligtas points, dagdag or bawas, depende kung ano yung ginagawa or sinasabi mo. Well, papatulan ko with all the questions that have been lurking on my mind about faith, spirituality, and God. This is quite a loaded topic and a very dangerous one to be talking about. For starters, I don't subscribe to any religion. Well, I used to before, but right now, I'm comfortable with being spiritual but not religious. I am sensing that some of you right now might be praying over for me to banish the evil thoughts that I have, na siguro sinasaniban ako ni Satanas, kaya ako nasasabi mga to. Well, it's your right to do that, but I hope you can do that after watching the video. Please watch the entire video to understand where I'm coming from. Not having membership to any religion doesn't necessarily mean I abhor it. Objectively speaking, there are good things about religion, but at the same time, I have some unanswered questions. The problem with a lot of religious conflicts, from the microaggressions in the family tree, to heated exchange between faith groups in society, and up to large-scale wars pursued for gods, there's little to no room for conversations. The default and initial response in most cases of one religion to another, or a theist to a non-believer, is, I'm right, you are wrong. It's always a battle of dominion and supremacy. It's always a question of who deserves to go to heaven. And it's actually one of the reasons why I grew tired of all these psychological warfare and passive-aggressive comments people of faith say to one another. Like for example, on the gateway into heaven, I believe the majority, if not all religions, believe in the good place or heaven as our ideal home in the afterlife. But what's problematic with that is on how that operates in the context of other people in the world. Yes, all religions believe that their religion is the right one. They are monotheists. They believe in one true God, and so conversely, those who pray to a different God are automatically the wrong ones. If we're going to run that logic, those who are not part of your religious sect will be unqualified to go to heaven. So, mapupunta sila down there. Well, the people who believe that premise have a narrative to downplay that very strong statement. Parang siguro na-acknowledge nila na napaka-strong naman ng statement. They say, well, being a follower of the religion doesn't mean one gets a golden ticket right away. A follower must still do good para ma-qualify ka mapunta sa heaven. But there are many good people who belong to other religious denominations, or there are people who are simply non-believers, but they are really great people. Will they also be automatically disqualified and rot in hell by default, all by the virtue of them not being part of your religion? Don't you think an all-loving God would not let that happen? And this is true, sorry, I got a rebuttal from someone that I know who defended this. It's not enough that you do good. You must do good in the name of their version of God. Fine, the argument is logical. According to that person I talked to, it's derived from their doctrine. But I just can't fathom the idea that you believe, by default, automatically, the rest of the world will perish regardless of their good actions. Some of you believe this, that by following your faith, that you will be saved. But I hope you also acknowledge, in the same breath of saying that, you also believe that the rest of the world will plummet down in hell. No ifs, no buts, just hell. If you're comfortable with that idea, let's delve deeper into that. If the argument now is, well, they do deserve to go to hell. We've been telling them about our God for centuries now, that we are the right religion, but they choose not to listen to us. So it's by their stubbornness and refusal to accept our God, our religion, that led them to their dark fate. Do understand that this is probably the same line that other religions are saying to other people. If you accuse them of not having an open mind to what your faith has to say, I'm wondering how open and compassionate was your heart in understanding other religion. Because if you don't do the same for their belief system, why should they do the same to yours? Note though that if your argument stands with that reasoning, it clings on the assumption that all people know about your religion and that all people were equipped with so much information to have a decision on it. Yeah, religions have community development efforts, outreach, missionaries, but that also relies on the privilege of having access to this information. Swerte ka kasi meron kang mga ganitong information. Meron kang access to know about this God. Meron kang access to understand the spirituality this way. Allow me to explain further. I'm sure a group of people coming from a very far place maybe from an uncontacted tribe in Kiribati, who never had a chance to read your religion's guidebook or pamphlet. Gawa-gawa ko lang yun, mali nyo may badsang ganun. Don't you think that it's unfair that you were lucky enough to be born in a family, a community, a country where the information about this God, this religion is widely accessible and visible? Whereas there are people born in an isolated island na walang internet, walang cable, hindi pa masyadong ng civilization, who have never even heard about that religion. Don't you think that's unfair that these people will go to hell? Well, do you know the lottery of birth? Before we even conceived and brought into this world, we are scattered in the world with various combinations of genes and characteristics we don't have a control about this. Now, what if, because of birth lottery, you were placed in that island of Kiribati? Are you okay that by default, mapupunta ka sa hell? It's your fault. You didn't know God. It's your fault. Hindi mo alam yung religion na to. So, sorry, pupunta ka sa hell. But let's revisit something that I pointed out earlier. That according to some religious denomination, that good people, regardless of the good things that they do, if they don't do it for God, if they are not subscribing to the same religion, they will still go to hell. These said people na they're trying their best to be good, na nililabel nyo as outsiders, could be any person. Maybe these are people who are scientists who made great discoveries and contributions in the medical or the scientific field, teachers who educate us, activists who fought for our rights, leaders who changed the world. You can do a quick Google search of these people. There are always other people from different religions who are atheists or agnostic or non-believers. Or who knows, you might be interacting with these people in your specific community. Maybe pinapanood din YouTube video ng tao na yun. These people who are just trying their best to do good things, things that are most likely you have directly or indirectly benefited on your life here on earth. But then you believe they don't get ligtas points. They don't get to go to heaven just because they're not part of your faith. Don't you think it's unfair? This video is heavy on questions rather than statements. Or maybe the questions are the statements. Actually, I don't have clear answers for these inquiries and curiosities of mine. I'm on a constant pursuit of discovery. That is, my journey is such a colorful roller coaster ride. I was a Roman Catholic. I was somehow immersed to the lifestyle of born-again Christianity because of my relatives. At a very short period in my life, I thought I was an atheist, but then I sobered up a little bit and decided to be an agnostic. Eventually, I gravitated back to born-again Christianity, attending worship places in Ortigas and in C5. But then, currently, right now, I just simply unsubscribe to all of these religions. I am a religious spiritual person, tulad nga ng sabi ko kanina. I still pray a lot to something bigger than myself, God, Mother Earth, science, higher power, the universe. The closest term that I have for this belief framework is pantheism. It's not a fully concretized belief framework. I'm still on the journey of discovering how I understand my spirituality. And you know what? If you're into that, it's okay for us to be like that. I will still continue asking and discovering my faith. It's all about questions, and if you got curious with something through this video, please hit subscribe. The content I upload or publish are diverse, but they're all about thought and communication processes, creative expression, self-development, and societal issues. Understand that this specific content most likely has a shared premise with the rest of the videos or articles I put out. Thanks for sharing your time and keep on sharing. Bye!